Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Nice to see you joining our webinar today. My name's Amy Engelmark, and this is a weekly webinar series that happens every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Usually we go for anywhere between 30-40 minutes to an hour, and it's called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. That's what this webinar series is called. You can find out more about me on my website at amyengelmark.com. So when you get on the webinar, what I would love for you to do, please, is you see this chat room up here? That is for you. This is the area that you and I and everyone else on these webinars uses to be in touch and ask questions. So I'd love for you to put your name and where you're from in that chat room, please. And I will just go there now and welcome everyone here. Hope you guys are all having a fabulous day. This particular webinar today is about tips every woman, especially every woman. Welcome, Phyllis. Great, I'm glad you can be here today as well. Tips every woman needs to hear so that you can feel fabulous, you can feel confident, and you can feel like you've got great self-esteem. So that's our topic for today, and I have 3 to 4 points I'm going to cover. So it's important that you grab a pen or a pencil and paper now. Maybe you want to grab some water now so you can watch through the whole thing. My encouragement is for you to watch through the whole training, especially live if you're on here live, because I have a goodie for you. At the end of my webinar, I'm going to ask a question, and if you are the first one, hi Ran. Oh, it sounds like maybe video's not working for you. Hopefully you're getting the audio. Ran's on her phone. So welcome, Ran. Glad you're here with us. I have a book, a journal, sweet little journal this week to give away to one of you. It's a fun kind of like kid style, colorful journal. One of you who can answer the question that I ask at the end of the call. So stay on so you can get this free goodie. I'd love to give it to you. I'm also going to fill it with quotes, inspirational tools and strategies that are proven to work. They've worked in my clients' lives and my life. So I just can't wait to give that to somebody at the end of the webinar. Also, everyone, whether you're on here live or you're watching the replay, I'm going to post a link. You'll get a link to my 2 chapters of my book that's coming out. It's called From Burnt Out to Bliss, and it's a 30-day challenge for real high achievers who are close to feeling worn out and they want to feel re-energized and full of life again. So you'll get the first 2 chapters, and I'm just going to make a note here that so I can give that to you, and I'll post that in the chat room. Ren, did you have a question before we got started? It looks like you're saying pause if I chat. Maybe you're trying to communicate with me on the phone and it's not working so well. But continue to try and get in touch with me. At the end of these webinars, I always leave room for Q&A. So any question you have about the webinar that I'm focusing on today, or life balance, self-care, stress management, time management, how to communicate without blowing a fuse, all of these things are in my part of my training and what I'm happy to help you with and help you overcome and equip you with these tools. So I welcome all questions. I'll start with saying congratulations for being on the webinar live, those of you. And I'm really happy that you can be here with me live, because when you show up to your life, 90% of success starts from showing up. So congratulations and welcome to all of you who are watching this webinar later. I'm glad you can tune in as well. I'll tell you a bit of my story before I hop into my training, and then I will hop into those training points and give you some tools to boost your confidence and self-esteem so that you can feel successful in all of those areas of your life that you want to. When I was about 19, I felt like I had all of the freedom that I could ever want. I had so much free time. I wasn't with anyone romantically and didn't have any kids. I just felt like I was on top of the world. And I've always been a positive person, so it was a great time in my life. Interestingly enough, when I wasn't looking for anyone, I met my husband. Sometimes that's just the way that it goes. And we quickly fell in love, and shortly after, a few years after, we had our first son. Then we had our second son, and life started to just snowball. I decided that at that time it would be a good time for me to start life coaching training. And I became quickly overwhelmed, started to feel quite exhausted from juggling all the balls that I had in the air. And I also started to feel like I was losing my sense of self, my identity. And that really made me start to feel depressed and a little bit sad. And it was a really rough time in my life. So that made me delve into my coaching training, even with a vengeance, because I needed to know, what are some tools that I can use? How can I help other people in the same situation? People that are natural leaders who are already successful in business and they need help to balance all these different responsibilities. And the more that I read, the more that I trained, I started to transform my life and gain tools that I needed to help me kind of climb out of that hole. Then I started working with other women and men, and what happened was I shared the tools that I was learning, and transformation started happening in their lives as well. They were starting to break free of old habits, transform beliefs. They were starting to take charge of their time. All these beautiful things started happening, and it just made me so happy. Later on, I developed a program called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life, which is a program I still run right now. And I'll tell you more about that at the end of the call today. So again, welcome to any of you who are just joining us on the webinar right now. So great to have you on live. This is so the place to be if you are ready to boost your self-esteem and confidence, and you just need some guidance, some mentorship, some tools to be able to put into place so that you can take the next step and have a plan. So let's get going, and I'm going to share my screen with you now so that you can see some of my background and my training points, and then I will take the screen off and you can see my face again, and I'll just go back and forth like that. So give me 1 second here while I get my screen up here for you to see. Okay, so the name of these webinars, the webinar series, is Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. They happen weekly, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. You can find out more information about my program at amyengelmark.com/about. That'll give you lots of info. Here's me in my garden. These calls, these webinars are all about, we cover many different topics that are related to one another: life balance, time management, strategies to help you stress less, And these webinars are for people who want to regain their free time. They want to feel like they have balance again. They want to feel like they can kickstart their health and not lose any kind of productivity because of how they're spending their time. They want to have peace of mind and feel like they can rest without feeling guilty. Here I am with some of a group that I met with live a few weeks ago. We had a lot of fun. We worked together for an hour. I often will meet with groups, live small groups and large groups, and train and equip women especially. So if you weren't here right at the beginning, stick around because there is a free journal that I'm giving away full of tools and strategies and mindset shifts, and a little note from me at the beginning I'm going to send off to you in the mail if you're not local. So I have a fun promise for you. As a really busy person, a professional, I know that you are successful in many, many areas of your life. But I know that you also would like to be able to have all of your dreams at the same time. That's very much who I am as well. I'd like to have all of my dreams and goals realized at the same time. So I'm going to give you a foundation for success so that you can travel and be with your family and feel successful in your business all at the same time. So we're going to have a lot of fun together. And you're going to come away with a system. You're going to walk away after this webinar with some tools to really help you move forward and also decrease your stress at the same time. I'll give you new ways of developing habits so that you can be successful, productive, and feel like, oh my goodness, how am I being successful, productive, and I have more free time? So I'll show you how you can do that on these webinars. These webinars these are the topics I cover. So we cover stress management strategies that have worked in many, many clients' lives. And they really help you take control of your mind. If you apply them, you're going to see changes even in the next 30 days. I also teach on how to get new results in areas where you've felt stuck before. And I help you overcome fears that may have been limiting you and holding you back for a long time. And I help you overcome self-doubts. A lot of the time we can put other people first instead of making ourselves a priority because of thoughts that are rolling around in our minds that we give space to. So we're going to be talking a lot today about transforming beliefs. I cover the importance of mastering your emotional health and your thought life. If you want to really move forward and make some changes in your life, you need to be able to master these two areas. And always, I help you get very clear on what your goals are. So make sure you are taking notes. Make sure to replay the webinar when you get your email notifications and get to the point where you need to listen to what I've said again, because sometimes we don't catch everything the first time around. So it's important that you watch again if you know there was something that really hit home. So this is me before I cut my hair off. I'm just about to have a photo shoot in a couple weeks, so I'll have some shiny, fresh new photos with my short haircut. I'm the author of an upcoming book. I said at the beginning of this webinar, it's called From Burnt Out to Bliss, and it's a 30-day challenge for busy high achievers to create more fun and freedom, because you can have fun and freedom and be a busy, productive person. So I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a mentor, I am a wife, I am a mom. I've helped many entrepreneurs, a lot of healthcare professionals, investors, veterinarians, so many different professionals, lots of women who are ready to take control of their lives and make a change. So I show you how to do that. I've worked with men as well. Just in case you're on the call, I do work with men as well. You can find more info at amyengelmark.com. I've hosted workshops live, workshops over the computer. I've run group coaching programs with members from all over North America. And then the life balance and the time freedom that I've created in my life, it's because I've used the simple systems that I teach you on these webinars. So I've applied them to my life as well. Here's me doing some more live training at a couple different places. All of these 3 places are at with different groups. Some are with entrepreneurs, others are at banks, others are for self-care or for caregivers who it's very typical to burn out in a profession as a caregiver or a profession as a quote mom or a woman where you typically give a lot of yourself to others and the balance is uneven when it comes to giving to yourself. So this is me teaching on increasing free time, decreasing stress, and improving life balance. You can often find me outside riding my bike at boot camp. I love being outside. These are my boys. On the left is Simon. He's 8. On the right is Gavin. He is 10. And we often go to the west coast of Canada where I live. And we go for hikes. All of our family is quite outdoorsy. Here's my husband on the left. His name is Beach. We are thankfully very much in love still after almost 15 years of being married. Woohoo! This summer. So let's hop off. I'm going to stop the screen share now. And all right, there we go. I wanted to be able to teach you so you can see my face as well. Sometimes that's really important. Some of the points that we're going to cover today, I'm just going to tell you them all at once. You can write them down and then I'll go through them one by one. So if you're to increase your confidence and your self-esteem, you need a framework to do that within. You need steps to take, and that's what I'm going to share with you right now. So one is to create beliefs that build confidence. So often we don't take the time to even look at what our beliefs are. 2, decide whose beliefs you're believing. This is a funny one, but it's important to understand that sometimes you've adopted other people's beliefs about who you are, what you're capable of becoming, who you're capable of becoming, what you're capable of doing in this life, just because somebody else has told you and then you've adopted it as the truth. So that's point number 2. Whose beliefs have I adopted? Number 3, the value of taking risks. Number 3 is the value of taking risks so that you can increase your confidence and self-esteem. Now, don't hop off the webinar right now if you just heard me talk about taking risks and you don't like taking risks, because I'm going to show you how you can take risks and it not be so scary. Okay? Number 4 is adopt an I can handle it attitude. Number 4 is I can handle it. Adopt that kind of attitude. So, beliefs are like building blocks, right? If you can envision a little kid taking time, having fun, and using building blocks, the more time and the more effort and the more thought that goes into building, you can create quite a beautiful structure. Or you can create a structure that's very weak, that doesn't support tall growth or broad growth. And without knowing it, you've gotten to a point where you're very limited and you can't grow anymore. Some of your beliefs could be getting in the way of you being confident, you feeling like you have rock solid self-esteem. So we're going to check those beliefs today. And I want you to walk away with an aha, a realization that you share with me at the end. And it could be regarding your beliefs, or it could be regarding another point that we covered. So I'm going to give you some examples that I've written down here in my notes regarding beliefs that could be holding you back. Now, the 4 top areas off the top of my head that I could think of that really hold people back when it comes to their beliefs can hold them back in these areas. What I typically see with my clients is these 4 areas. Beliefs can hold people back. It can hold you back in how confident you feel to communicating with your extended family, or it could be your close family members, or maybe it's your work colleagues, and your beliefs impact how awesome and how confident you can feel when you're communicating. Another area is, how confident do you feel making decisions? I wonder. I don't know. When I'm sharing on these topics, feel free to comment in the chat bar and let me know, yeah, this is really an area that I would like to learn more about, or that really hit home. Then I can, if I can give you more information on what I'm talking about, I definitely will. The third area I see people really being held back in, and their beliefs impacting and limiting their confidence level, is in time management. So a lot of people will think simply that I don't have the time, and then that will be a self-fulfilling prophecy. And because they believe they don't have the time and often talk about that out loud, you block yourself off, and you've made a decision to not even engage in the thought that maybe I could make time for myself. So you limit your confidence right away in your beliefs, or you bust wide the doors with your empowering beliefs. So we'll talk about some limiting beliefs examples and some empowering beliefs. The last area that people are held back in their mindset, in their thought life, that impacts this area is in relationships or self-worth. So sometimes people will feel like they have this belief that I have to work hard to show my spouse that I'm such a great wife or partner. Well, that will leave you feeling like if you're not working hard in whatever area you feel you need to work hard at so that you're a great woman, person. Oh, interesting, Rand. I'll get to your question in a minute. If you're not working hard in that area, then you mustn't be that great of a wife or partner. So that will hold you back and limit you in your confidence. So Rand's just saying, how would you recommend sharing your beliefs with your partner, husband, so that you would get their full support in what you're trying to achieve? Rand, how about the questions that come up? I will cover them at the end so that I can stay in my flow, and then I'll definitely answer your question for you at the end. I'd be happy to. Okay, so here are some examples of limiting beliefs that really will limit your ability to feel confident. Here's some on communication and conflict. I should probably, this is directly from one of my clients' lives. I should keep my mouth closed because what I have to say doesn't matter. It has no worth, and people probably don't want to hear my opinion anyways. That kind of a belief will really limit you in your relationships and your ability to confidently speak about your emotions, your thoughts, your opinions, because you're already deciding that other people don't want to hear it and that you're not valuable and what you have to say isn't valuable. Here's another one. Conflict definitely leads to pain. I'm going to get hurt if I'm honest about my feelings. So there you go. Doors are shut. You're not going to be honest about your feelings because maybe in the past you've gotten hurt when you've been open, and now you are believing that the past will always reoccur. With that sort of belief, you're going to not move forward, And you will look at conflict always in a negative light instead of one that could lead you towards more freedom in your life. Here's a few more. I have to say yes to everyone's requests for help. I just have to. Otherwise, I'm definitely going to be judged. People are definitely going to be thinking negative things about me. I can't handle that. And it means that I'm probably not competent in those areas. Competent enough to juggle 7 things at the same time. I mean, doesn't everybody juggle 7, 8, 9, 10 things at the same time? I should be able to do that. But you think to yourself, why do I want to do that? Maybe people will think I'm not a great parent or that I'm selfish. Yeah, I'm definitely just going to have to say yes to everything that everyone asks me to do. You see how these beliefs are very limiting and can hold you back. Here's another one. All my decisions will lead to regret. I can't make decisions that make me feel happy or proud. You're deciding that you're not capable when you make that kind of a statement in your mind, when you believe that to be true. So here are some options, some more empowering options for you to dwell on regarding communication, decision-making, time management, self-worth, relationships that will help you increase your confidence. One is, I can trust others. I can deal with a bit of conflict. It's not going to kill me. I can handle it. The world won't fall apart if I'm a little bit uncomfortable. My opinions are valuable. My thoughts and input is going to help others. I'm valuable. I have a lot of experience that will help others. Conflict leads to depth in my relationships. Conflict leads to freedom from fear. Facing conflicts helps me overcome fear. When I face conflict, I become bigger than my fears. I make decisions that make me happy. I'm capable of making decisions that make me happy. So I could go on and on. I have a full page of more empowering options for you to dwell on instead of old limiting beliefs that are holding you back in this area and keeping you from the confidence that you deserve to feel, that you need to feel if you want to be successful in all of these areas of your life. So let's move forward and let's talk a little bit about whose beliefs you're believing. I was working with my group program, my group of women that I coach on a weekly basis. And we were talking about standards and expectations we have for ourselves. That was the training topic for the day this week. Interestingly enough, what was most impactful about that training was that sometimes our standards or expectations, and here applying to this webinar, our beliefs, have been kind of imprinted and imposed by other people in our lives, whether it's family members or somebody who had a negative or maybe just a limiting impact in your life. Their beliefs could have gotten lodged in your brain, and without you really paying attention and being conscious about it, self-aware, you could have decided that that belief was true about you. So if you're not feeling confident, ask yourself, why am I holding back in this area? What would I need to believe about myself in order to feel wildly confident? I mean, like confident beyond your wildest dreams, like mountaintop self-esteem. No matter if things are going wrong, no matter if other people are disappointed in you, in your heart of hearts, you know, I'm wonderful. I'm valuable. It doesn't matter what is going on around me or what anyone else thinks. I'm unshakable. What would you need to believe in order to have that confidence? That will often when you get the answer for yourself, I would write that down, that question. What do I need to believe about myself in order for me to feel that way? Whether it's in my relationship, Ran, or whether it's in my emotional life, or whether it's in any area of my life. When you get clarity on that question and an answer comes to you regarding what would I need to believe in order to feel that way, because your thoughts directly impact your heart and how you feel, you'll probably come to an awareness of, oh, I see what I was believing before. So with one awareness comes more awareness, and then the floodgates open and you start becoming a more conscious creator of your own, of how you want to feel, because you're starting to change the patterns in your mind. There's a book that I love, and it's called Switch on Your Brain. It's quite a powerful book, and it talks about the science behind what happens in your brain and what happens when you change your thoughts. It's like any kind of training. You need to first start and your muscles ache more and you don't feel like doing it, and you have to be consistent until you've built up enough strength, and then you still need to maintain, right? You still need to maintain any self-care practice, whether it's shaving or putting on makeup or whatever it is. You need to maintain anything that's healthy so that you don't slip into old habits. Let's move forward to, I want to tell you a story. Just gotta check this here. I tell you a story of my client. She really became aware that she had adopted some beliefs that were passed down from her parents without even questioning them, and she had made her decisions in life to line up with that belief about herself, and that was that I can't make good decisions. Conflict is a negative thing, so I'll avoid it at all costs, even when I feel like my parents are not using healthy boundaries with their grandchildren and not treating them the way I want them to be treated. And she felt really held back in this area, like she couldn't speak to her parents because she had no speak to her parents because she felt like maybe she would lose her relationship with them, and maybe she would there would just be all these negative consequences that fear put in her mind at the thought of conflict, at the thought of communicating her deepest feelings. And what happened was she decided to take a small step and formulate and prepare ahead of time what she wanted to talk about with him, which is the grandfather in the situation. And she found that she was able to keep her calm. She was able to speak clearly and stand her ground and make decisions from a place of confidence. Even more so because she found that the world didn't fall apart. Yes, her dad got upset when she spoke with him, but she didn't feel like the worst things happened, that those things that she was fearing really came to life because she faced her fear. So that's what I want to encourage you to do, is moving on to our next step. Number 3 is to take risks. Take risks, and you can move slowly. It doesn't have to be an amazing, scary big thing that you do and you just jump off the deep end with both feet, even if you feel like you can't swim. That's what this client of mine did. She decided to take a small step. First, it was talking about it with me. Then it was planning and preparing. Then it was reminding herself before she walked into the conversation that this is going to be okay. Conflict leads to more freedom for me. Conflict leads to personal growth and expansion. Conflict leads to success in my relationships and a deep connection in my relationships. And she chose to dwell on those thoughts instead of fearful thoughts as she entered into a conversation where she felt like there would be a lot of conflict, and possibly that conflict would lead to really uncomfortable relationship happenings, you know. So often when we are facing fearful situations and we know we need to take a risk, otherwise we'll always stay stuck in the same place where we don't really like where we're at as far as how confident we feel in a certain area, or where our self-esteem lies, what level we're at. So you have an option, right? You have an option when you're making decisions. There's a model that I want to teach you about today in the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyways. It's a triangular model, and one is the no-win way of making decisions, and one is the win-win way of making decisions. The no-win model is like, at the top you have, okay, it's time to make a decision. You've reached some sort of pinnacle and you need to make a decision between A and B. So a decision A is the wrong decision and decision B is the right decision. You feel like you have to choose one, and if you choose the wrong decision, you're going to, you won't be able to handle it, for one, and you take so long in making your decisions because you feel that decisions are so weighty that once you've made your decision, self-doubt rises up and you feel like, oh my goodness, maybe it's better if I made decision B or decision A, and wouldn't life have been better? Who knows? And you waste so much of your energy and your time second guessing yourself that you never get to learn and grow from all of your decisions, which is the point of life, right? We are all on this path of personal growth, expansion, and learning. So no matter what decision you make when you take a risk, it's going to be a win-win. And this is how you can start changing your perspective and see it that way. So the win-win model is another triangle. At the top is the pinnacle, right? It's the time where you need to make a decision. You have decision A and decision B. Both are win-win. Not one's right, one's the wrong decision. On the way to decision A and decision B, you have the goodies. Those are the benefits that you need to identify so that when you take a risk, you know that no matter what decision you make, you're going to win. And there's big benefits for you no matter which decision you choose. So the way you can look at it is, if you have to leave a job and move to a new job, and maybe in that new job, it doesn't turn out as good as you thought it was going to be, or the benefits aren't as great, or maybe they don't like you as much as you thought they would, and you end up losing your job within a few months. Well, that doesn't seem like you made the right decision. That's from the no-win model perspective. But from the win-win model perspective, you're still winning, because now you've been given the opportunity to rise up in your strength, to build an experience and confidence in yourself and in your abilities, so that you can be an inspiration. You can be to others. You can be empathetic with others. You can help others, and you can move forward in your own strength. I think some of the strongest people are people who have had to face a lot of discomfort, a lot of challenge. Those are the people who are resilient, and they're able to say, oh yeah, I can handle whatever happens in life. So when you're taking risks, think of the win-win model. Identify for yourself what the benefits are for either decision, and remind yourself that it's all about learning. So no matter what happens, there's going to be big benefits for you. And always look at life and decision making through those lenses. On to step number 4. Adopt an I can handle it attitude. I'm just going to have a sip of tea. This is my fattest mug. Just love it because I can fit a lot of tea in there. Earl Grey with double bergamot. Love it. So, how do you take on an I can handle it attitude no matter what is happening in life? How do people do that? How do they develop such a strong confidence? One of the biggest fears of people that holds people back in life from making decisions that would make you happy is thinking that if something happens that's unexpected, that you won't be able to handle it. But the worst case scenarios happen all the time, all over the world to people. Some medium case scenarios, some not so bad scenarios happen, but they're still unexpected. And all of these people have been able to manage really unwanted experiences in life. You're actually lying to yourself and holding yourself back when you believe that you can't handle things. Because actually, these things have been given to you as a gift, as an opportunity to learn and expand and mature and grow. They all have a positive aspect if you choose to look at them that way. I was reading about fears. I've been reading about fear often, and one quote that I wanted to share with you is that 90%, this is crazy incredible, 90% of what you fear never comes to happen, never comes to show up in your life. Can you believe that? Those are proven statistics. And for those of you who want the proof, I can find it for you if you contact me. Only 10% of what you're spending time feeling anxious or worrying or fretting about somehow, only 10% of that actually is going to happen. So the 90% of your time that you spend worrying about, oh my goodness, but if I take that risk, if I follow these steps, I just don't know if I can trust that I'm going to be taken care of. I don't know if I can trust that I can handle it, that my family can handle it. I think I'm going to stay in my comfort zone instead. Well, I would encourage you to not go for the easy life, because you will not be fulfilled. You'll not experience the purposeful living that you want to experience by staying in your comfort zone. Mwah. The way to develop an I can handle it attitude no matter what happens in life is to develop some trust in yourself. So take baby steps, take little steps, risk little things. And the more you risk, the more your comfort zone will expand, the happier you'll be, the more confident you will become. It's just a beautiful flow of one little risk taken, and then everything starts to blossom. Take another little risk, and your trust in yourself starts increasing. So I would write this affirmation down, and I would speak it over your life. Speak it over yourself. Think it. Put it in your car. Put it at your desk at work. And that is, whatever happens to me, I can handle it. I will handle it. Whatever happens to me, it's going to be okay. That should help you start taking little baby steps, little risks. So I'll recap those 4 points, and then I'm going to open it up for Q&A. One is to create beliefs that build confidence. So take a look at what you would need to believe in order for you to feel more confident, in order for you to have a boost in self-esteem. 2 is have a look at whose beliefs you're believing. Have you adopted someone else's beliefs and they're really not serving you anymore? Maybe they never did serve you. And if so, take back control of your thoughts. Number 3 is to take risks. Take small risks so you can increase your confidence. And remember that every decision you make is a win-win decision. You're going to be benefited and you will learn no matter what happens. It's going to be the best for you. Number 4 is to adopt an I can handle it attitude. No matter what happens in my life, I'm going to be able to handle it. And believe me, even if you apply one of these steps that I've taught on today, you're going to notice that you're going to feel better about yourself. You're going to walk with more assurance, and you're going to feel more confident. So why don't you share with me on the side here one takeaway, one aha that you have taken away from today's webinar? There's a little bit of a lag on the webinar, so I'll wait for a bit until you can see that question. I'd love your feedback. In the meantime, I'll enjoy my Earl Grey tea. Phyllis. Phyllis says, I'm thinking about whose beliefs I am believing. Yeah, I've really had to be introspective for myself as well. I'm not just teaching this and I don't apply it to my own life. There's been things that I've believed about myself that I think have been generationally passed down. Some of them I've developed for myself just as a belief because of experiences that have happened in my life, and I've really had to kind of be a ninja and cut the negative ones out and stop giving them so much space in my mind. You have to start being very vigilant, like a guard for your own mind. Rand says, I feel like I still need more confidence in my beliefs. Maybe that would get me more successful yet. Yeah, success definitely comes as you prove to yourself what beliefs you stand for. So I would say that sounds like an awesome opportunity, Rand, for you to take a stand for what you believe, because the more you act on your beliefs, the more those actions solidify what's true for you, and they build your confidence and trust in yourself. So I would encourage you to choose one small action that you're going to take towards living your beliefs instead of just wanting to believe something. Yeah, Vicky's saying, I'm trying to sort out what beliefs are holding me back. Welcome, Vicky. Glad to have you on the call. Let us know where you're from too, Vicky, if you don't mind. So Vicky says, trying to sort out what beliefs are holding me back. Vicky, I take people through a process to help them uncover their commitments that are underlying. So we say we want one thing in life, and yet it doesn't show up, and we wonder why we're not getting the results that we want in our relationships, or maybe in our work life, wherever it is. When that happens, yeah, believe in your beliefs, Fran. Yay! Vicky, when that happens, often you can ask yourself, what results are showing up in this area of my life where I want different results? And then maybe I'll, if this is something of interest to you, I can talk with you personally about it, Vicky. Oh, Cumberland, awesome. Yeah, what I should do is actually do a screen share with you. And there's a question I want to ask you, Vicky, to help you come to some clarity for sorting out beliefs that are holding you back. When you know what you're committed to, I'll give you an example from my own life. A couple of years ago, I realized I was more committed to being comfortable than to facing my fears. So I said that I was committed to growth in a certain area of my life, but I wasn't taking action on it. The results weren't showing up. So ask yourself, what do you say you're committed to? And in that area of your life, what's actually showing up? And then you can ask yourself, what's actually more important to me than what I've said is most important to me. So you're digging underneath the soil until you hit some rocks, right? Those rocks are the actual underlying automatic commitments. And then once you find out what those underlying automatic commitments are, you can become empowered and you can do something. You can take some sort of empowered action from that place of awareness. Let me share with you my screen again for 1 second. Well, a couple seconds. Just give me 1 sec. Because I want to share with you a testimonial of a physician in town, a dear client of mine, who really started changing her beliefs for herself. And what happened was amazing, because when she was started to change her thinking patterns with the tools that I worked on with her, she started gaining so much self-awareness of when she was actually stressed, instead of acting out from a stressful place and not being aware. Therefore, when she became more aware, she could have control over herself and do something about it, right? Have more control over her emotions, which felt so empowering to her. And then she developed this self-care practice for herself that has benefited her and her family and her work life immensely. So I want to ask you guys, I want to leave you with this. How long will you wait for the perfect timing? You can listen to me speak, you can attend all of these webinars and not take any action. So I want to ask you, how long are you willing to wait? Because when you get support and accountability and mentorship, that's when you're going to fly. That's when you're going to bust old doors down in your life, things that have been holding you back, and you're going to start seeing new, exciting, stress-relieving results show up in your life. It's really important to ask yourself, what's it costing me to stay in the place that I'm at right now? How long have I actually even been in this place? How long have I felt stuck and held back in this area? I bet you it's been for too long. I bet you it's costed you in some of your relationships. It might have even costed you in how much time you can spend with the people that you want to be hanging out with, the people you want to enjoy your life with, the people who add to your life. So you obviously pay a price for not taking action. You pay a price for not moving forward in the areas that your heart desires. And so does your family. Actually, so do the people that you work with. People that you're in contact with all the time pay a price because you're not showing up as the full you who you're capable of becoming. And therefore, you lead life in a more limited way when you decide not to grow. So you have a big choice today. One of my clients in Vancouver, Kisa, she's a fabulous woman. She made a big change in her life when she started working with me. She wasn't making time for her personal dreams or her spiritual goals because she didn't know how she was going to balance everything as a busy lawyer, as a professional who is and was doing really well in her business, until she started working with me, and we put some strategies into place and we created a framework for her, and it radically changed these areas in her life. She's an incredible woman. So in the next 30 days, what would it mean for you to have more time, less stress, more confidence, be able to break some old habits and really experience self-confidence in these areas? How would you like to create all of this in the next 30 or 60 days? This is my invitation for you to do this with me. I'm going to help you conquer stress and kickstart your health. That's what I do with my clients. That's what I am incredible at, is giving the tools and strategies that have been proven to work for other people and for myself, and helping you implement them in your life. I have a program. It's the best program for you. It's called Breakthrough to Your Fun and Fabulous Life. It's basically, I'm walking with you through valleys until you reach your mountaintop so that you can say, yes, I've worked through these things. I've busted through barriers, and I've had the support and the mentorship that I needed to be able to do these things, to take these steps. So here are the program details. It's a 6-month-long program. In it, I coach you privately once a month for an hour. I coach you in a group setting over the phone once a week for an hour. And we also have a Facebook members area where I coach you. I'm on there every day, and I coach, I support, I offer my mentorship and accountability through that area as well. There are modules that you have lifetime access to. They're audios, videos, worksheet training, and we cover everything from creating a plan for you to achieve your goals, to becoming very clear on the beliefs that are holding you back and helping you transform them into empowering beliefs that are going to move you forward fast and furious. I cover how to let go of control so that you can have more free time, you can play more, you can laugh more, you can take it easy and not stress out so much. I cover stress management strategies, how to create life balance when you're already successful and very busy, and that can be, you can just get into this rut of living life on other people's terms instead of creating this ideal life for yourself. So we cover all of that and more in this program. You can find out more about it at amyengelmark.com/about. And I have an offer for you today. I've set aside time to help you figure out how you can have it all and decrease your stress at the same time. So I've opened up slots for about an hour or so in the next week. And my desire is to be able to walk you through what you need to gain crystal clarity on what's holding you back, what you need to overcome, so that you can get the results you want to see and feel confident, more and more confident in all areas of your life. So it's totally free, this hour with me. You can apply today, and I want to offer that to all of you. So don't hesitate to get in touch with me. I'm going to stop my screen sharing and answer some questions and give you that link to my 2 chapters. So Ran was just wondering if I could answer her question, and yes, I can. So Ran wanted to know, let's go back to Ran's question here. How would you recommend sharing your beliefs with your partner so that you would get their full support in what you're trying to achieve? Personally, Ran, I would try and look at your situation and what you are aiming for in your life, what goals you're aiming for from his perspective. So if you want to meet him at an equal level, I would figure out for myself, what does my husband value most? And how can I show him that my goals are in line with his goals? That's something that I would do. And I would also ask for your husband's trust, because that's an act of faith to offer your trust to someone, even if you've known them for a very long time. If you know in your heart of hearts that you want to pursue a specific goal, and sometimes you can't realistically prove why with any scientific data, but you just know that this is what you want, sometimes you just need to ask for somebody else's trust, and you need to tell them that you're trustworthy. You might want to come up with some sort of plan to reevaluate in the future as well when you touch base on the topic again. So let me know if that helped. And now I'm going to ask a question. Anyone who follows me on social media, you may have an upper hand in answering this question. Who knows where I was on the weekend? Does anyone know where I spent a fabulous weekend full of sunshine? Whoever can answer that question first will get this journal. I'll send it to you and I'll fill it with lots of love, support, and great tools to help you on your path to personal growth. While you answer that question, I am going to find the link for you. And I'm going to post it in the chat there for the e-version of my first 2 chapters of my book. So hang on 1 second while I grab those for you. There we go. Oops. 1 sec. Thanks for holding on. Let me go here and grab it. I'll just go straight to my website. That'll be an easier spot for me to post the link for you. So yeah, this is a perfect time to ask me any question about the training, about what I offer. You can also let me know if you're interested in one of those spaces that I talked about, if you're interested in finding out more information about the program. If you want my support in a certain area and you want to make time with me, then I would put your name there and let me know you're interested in the chat bar and I can make a date with you. Okay, here I'm getting closer to getting you that link. Oh, Phyllis was first, and yes, it was Tofino. Nice, ladies. Sorry, Vicky. Next week, plug in here next week, and I'll give you a question that hopefully you can be the first one to answer. Alrighty, so let me get you, here it is. Here is the link for the first 2 chapters. Thank you for holding on. I could have had this ready beforehand, but I didn't, so here you go. Okay, can everyone see that link? Okay, Vicky, you're on. If you want to send me an email, Vicky, to this email address, that would be great. If you want to contact me there and we'll get that ball rolling, it'd be my pleasure. Hopefully you can see that link to my first 2 chapters, my first e-chapters. And Phyllis, if you could please email me as well, that would be great. You can send me your address and I will send you this journal and fill it with some goodies for you. By the way, you got to go to Tofino soon. It's just gorgeous. And there was a beautiful, a whole bunch of those like little surfing jellyfish, the purple ones that washed up on the shore. They're incredibly gorgeous. It was so neat. So let me know if you have any more questions before I end the webinar. I'll hang out here for another minute. And if you have any questions that come up, I hope that, yeah, I'll be here to support you. Thank you so much for being on the call live. It's great to interact with you. Thank you so much for watching the replay, and I hope that you're taking away a great aha. If you want to share your aha, you can. I'd love to hear your feedback. You're welcome, Phyllis. Glad you could be here with us. Yep, you're welcome for the ebook. There's 2 steps, 1 for each day, ladies, and I highly recommend putting those into practice when you download that link. I don't think there's any more questions. So have a fabulous Wednesday. Check in with me here live next Wednesday, and I'll be teaching on a brand new tasty topic. Speak with you then. Ciao.